What's going on, YouTube? This is Wawa Echo. My name is Zach, and we're here for the Smackdown Survey for January 23rd, 2018. And this is going to be an interesting Smackdown because whether or not, knowing the results and everything that happened, it was still going to be sort of a hype Smackdown because, one, this follows Raw 25. And if you haven't seen the Raw rundown, which Parker does a fantastic job critiquing Raw 25, then go look at that because that is some good stuff. That should already be up. So go see his Raw rundown for Raw 25. But this SmackDown follows Raw 25, and so it was supposed to be a little hype, but also hype because it's the go home show for Royal Rumble. It's not only just the last SmackDown before Royal Rumble; it is the last, I guess, main roster, main whatever of the week. And so this is the last chance for WWE to hype up the Royal Rumble. Let's see how they did. Let's go through everything that happened tonight and give the good parts an up and the bad parts a down. And let's see what SmackDown consisted of tonight. So we open up with Kimmy, as AJ Styles likes to say. We opened up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and they were cutting a promo on how they're going to be co-champions at the Royal Rumble, how they're going to beat up Styles, and how they're just going to win the championship. And I think I love the heel work between these two, and I love the mic work, and they're fantastic. And I think Sami Zayn is benefiting so much from being with Kevin Owens. He's so good on the mic, and he's showing it now. But then it prompted AJ Styles to come out and sort of as an opposition to the Yep movement, he proposed the Nope movement. He consistently said Nope and this and that, and so he was basically defending himself, saying how he's not going to let them take the titles. They're not going to be co-champions, whatever. One thing I found brilliant about this promo is that it picked apart little bits that AJ Styles has said in previous weeks, and has using it against him. And while I don't necessarily like that because AJ Styles is the face, I love AJ Styles, freaking love him, and I'm supposed to be a supporter, whatever. But I do think it was brilliant work to have AJ Styles eat his words basically, and so one segment I can't remember. I don't think it was last week. I think it was January 9th, where AJ Styles was being interviewed by Renee Young, I believe, and he says that he could beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in two separate matches on the same night. So, what did Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn do? They challenge AJ Styles to a match, to two separate matches this same night. And of course, what does Styles have to say or do? He has nothing because he actually said it. Daniel Bryan comes out, and what's weird about this is that he doesn't say anything. Well, he's about to say something, and AJ Styles says, "Look, you don't have to say it. Both matches are made for tonight." And that was the end of the segment, and that was a little odd. Later on, because I won't talk about this separately, later on, Shane was about to question Daniel Bryan for making two matches. Are you kidding me? The WWE champion. This is just several days away from the Royal Rumble, and you're going to make him compete in two matches. Daniel Bryan says, I wasn't going to sanction anything. And then he was like, whoa, wait, are you questioning the ability of AJ Styles? And Shane says, his ability is not the one I'm questioning. So it kind of finally, like, what was missing, something that was missing last week that I didn't really see much of, is this kind of plays up the tension between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, but also plays up the rivalry between Cammy and AJ Styles. So all this promo was brilliant work, brilliantly done. I'm going to give it an up, and we're off to a good start to SmackDown. The first match of the night featured Chad Gable going up against one half of the tag team champions, Jey Uso. And last week, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin actually beat the crap out of the Usos, and they didn't really beat the crap out of them, but they blindsided them and kind of beat them up and whatever. And so, and then at the Royal Rumble, they're also challenging the Usos to for the titles in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And so I thought this was good hype, and I thought it was. honestly, like even though yes, it was a good match, it would have been good no matter which combination of the four you had in the ring. Heck, you could have had those ones facing each other, and it would have been a 5-star match. And I'm kind of exaggerating there, but kind of not. They're just really good in the ring, and Gable showed a lot of like wrestling abilities, and I'm talking about technical wrestling abilities, his mat work, and kind of showed some from Jey Uso as well. Gable wound up picking up the victory. He kicked Jey Uso in the head, and then hit his German suplex, his rolling German suplex or whatever, and picked up the victory. And so this is interesting for Gable and Benjamin going into the Royal Rumble. Now they hold several victories over the Usos. Again, a booking decision that I don't understand unless they are building up Gable and Benjamin to be the champions. It's the only thing I can think of. Although I wish it was Rusev Day. But when does WWE ever give us what we want? Anyway, this match was an up because it was just fantastic. It featured two great individuals who wrestle very well and have great chemistry, actually. And so, moving on, our next match, it featured Naomi versus the Riot Squad's Liv Morgan. And this match surprised me because, let's face it, Liv Morgan, like I haven't watched anything from her NXT days, but apparently that was kind of crap too. And this match kind of made up for it. Honestly, I was not expecting much. I was expecting botches. I was expecting Naomi to pick up the victory really quickly. And so Naomi did pick up the victory ultimately, but like I expected her to beat Morgan a little faster, if you get what I'm saying. But of course, she had the Riot Squad outside the ring. But then later on in the match, kind of close to the end, you had Natalia, Carmella, and Lana come out at ringside as well, and then Becky Lynch. She kind of came separately, weirdly enough, I guess, heel face, whatever. But anyway, yeah, this was a good back and forth match, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with Liv Morgan's work. And a couple of things about the outcome is that it does kind of show that Liv can't really win unless she has her squad mates or whatever you want to call them. Unless she has her squad also helping her in the match as well, or interfering or whatever. She can't win by herself. That's just period. However, being a heel and being part of a faction is typically what you'll see. Is that they'll lose matches if they don't do something with their squad, and so that's what we saw. Liv Morgan did taste defeat here, and it it wasn't bad. And of course, after the match, all the ladies brawled, and a couple got thrown over the top rope, and Becky Lynch even tried to throw Naomi over the top rope. And then after that all happened, Charlotte came out and was like, "Good luck to the person who wins the Rumble and faces me, and whatever." And so I'm gonna give this match an up. I'm gonna give everything about it an up. While it wasn't fantastic, it wasn't bad, and that's what I was looking for, especially after last week. And if you haven't seen last week's, go see it. That SmackDown was awful. But anyway, so this wasn't terrible. I'm gonna give it an up. It does hype up the women's Royal Rumble match, although I didn't feel like this group of ladies didn't necessarily need to hype it up. It still did. I mean, it's a historic match either way. It's already hype, but they they did a decent enough job hyping that up. But let's move on. Another match that sort of hyped up the men's Royal Rumble match, but also kind of reignited a feud from a couple months ago, several months ago, featured Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And honestly, this was one of the better matches between the two, and the two have had several matches. And it was plenty of back and forth action, and I'm just gonna shoot. Honestly, gonna shoot straight to the end. Besides the back and forth action, that was kind of nice. It was ultimately the end that is going to decide whether this gets an up or a down. Nakamura was going for his Kinshasa or Kinshasa, yeah, Kinshasa. And he was going for that move, and out of nowhere, Randy Orton comes and RKO's Nakamura, and I think that it was so beautiful. Like I actually replayed it several times, and I was like, "Ah, it's so good." And we haven't seen Randy Orton live, I think, in 2 or 3 weeks, and so it was fantastic. I loved it. It was just good. And then Baron Corbin comes in and he tries to attack Orton and he gets an RKO as well. And we see the 2017 Royal Rumble winner uh, being the last one standing. And of course, he wasn't involved in the match in any way, except that he gave Nakamura the DQ win. But that doesn't really matter as much because that was so good that everything gets an up. The match itself again was kind of decent, features some nice back and forth action, but the end just totally gave that whole segment an up. Thank you, Randy Orton. It doesn't look like Randy's going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't expect him to, and if he does, I believe that would hoist him up to 3, which would tie Stone Cold Steve Austin's record of the most Royal Rumble wins. That would be an interesting decision. I don't see that happening, but this does make Randy Orton look like a credible threat to all other 29 opponents at the Royal Rumble. And then the next match featured the New Day teaming up with Bobby Roode to face Rusev Day and Jinder Mahal. Um, Weird booking decision here. Like, I mean, I know it's just I know what they're doing. It's a typical 6-man match where they take 2 feuds that are going on and just mesh them all into one match. But um, for one, the New Day versus Rusev Day is not really like a feud yet. It's not like really been they haven't really been going at it. But also something interesting is that I get that Rusev Day is heel. However, teaming them up with Mahal, bad idea. And mainly because Rusev Day is so over. It doesn't matter if they're a heel or not. They're so over. They have this momentum. They have the fans are behind them. I'm behind them. I freaking love Rusev Day, but I really don't like Jinder Mahal. So like, how you gonna pair those two up? Kind of sucks. The match did have some back and forth action, but honestly, it was just kind of a whatever match. And I'm honestly going to give this a down because it just wasn't interesting enough for me. In fact, I wanted to just like skip it because I didn't want to watch it, mainly because it featured the boring Bobby Roode along with Rusev Day and Jinder Mahal being teamed up. That was just weird. The New Day actually picked up the victory against, I believe, Aiden English. And that was also an interesting booking decision. I don't know why you don't have, if you're going to have the faces win, I don't know why you don't have the newly established United States champion take the victory. But I also don't understand why you don't give Rusev Day a win. And I guess that would include giving Jinder Mahal a win. So I'm kind of glad they didn't. But at the same time, Rusev Day needs some momentum. And they're killing them. Trying to kill their momentum. But I hope it doesn't. I hope the fans stay behind them. But anyway, this match gets it down. And we move on to AJ Styles. And of course, he's always phenomenal. But we're going to talk about his first match against Kevin Owens. And before this match actually starts, Shane McMahon comes out and he pretty much bans Owens and Zayn from interfering in each other's match. And by that, he said, Zayn, if you interfere in Owens' match with Styles, then you'll be fired on the spot. And same for Owens. And so that was a predictable sort of decision. It also continues making Shane look like he has a vendetta against Owens and Zayn. So that was good writing. That was good TV right there. It was predictable, but it just furthers the storyline, and that's what we're trying to do, I guess. But anyway, Styles versus Owens wasn't a very long match, and it didn't need to be, honestly. Mainly because I hear that Kevin Owens is suffering from some sort of minor injury, and I would assume they want to keep it uh, under control. And so they gave him this match, and I think it was really well done. Styles rolled him up with a calf crusher pretty quickly, just a few minutes in on it. I don't even know how long it was, but it wasn't long at all. And Kevin Owens taps out immediately, but Styles holds on to the lock, trying to basically cripple Owens, and Owens sold it so good. So it looks like he's injured, but kayfabe injured. It looks like he's injured, and it honestly looks like it kind of levels the playing field for Royal Rumble. So I really like that. I'm gonna give that an up. But then after that match, Sami Zayn came in and started unloading on AJ Styles, and let me tell you, like, I really like the guts and determination that AJ Styles has shown with this title reign, especially against Owens and Zayn. But I really loved Sami Zayn's fire here. I loved him just going after it and just completely destroying and annihilating AJ Styles. And so the match starts, and most of it was dominated by Sami Zayn, and I'm not too disappointed, and I'll say why in a minute. However, Styles did get some offense in. He looked really good in the match as well. He sold well without looking weak, so that was always good. But then the end came when Owens was being stretchered out, and Styles was outside the ring, had just thrown Sami Zayn in, back in the ring, and Styles goes and flips over the stretcher. And as he's going back in the ring, Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick. And then, that's not where the match ends. He hits the Blue Thunder Bomb, and he gets the victory with that move. I thought that was a good decision, honestly. Even though he did have his finishing move, and that's ultimately what finished Styles, one would have to assume. It is very nice to see Sammy finally win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Because, every time he does it, he thinks, yeah, I've won it, I won it. When have you ever won with a Blue Thunder Bomb? Oh, wait, January 23rd, 2018. But anyway, I got hyped for that. Honestly, it was really cool to see. But I like this decision for Zayn to go over for several reasons. It doesn't make AJ Styles look weak, while it also makes Sami Zayn look like a credible opponent and a credible threat to the championship. Because see, Owens is obviously a previous world champion as Universal Champion, and had the United States title and everything. And so like he already kind of looks like a credible threat, although he could look more credible. But then you had Sami Zayn, who has been very underutilized. But getting this win over Styles, which one could argue was completely clean, he didn't technically. I mean, he just took advantage of the distraction. He didn't really use any illegal tactics. And Owens didn't really necessarily get involved. So giving this victory to him really boosts his credibility as a threat against AJ Styles, and it builds some momentum for him. And so I'm gonna give this an up. It was just altogether well done. I really liked it. And so we even ended SmackDown with Owens selling his leg, and Sammy celebrating his win over AJ Styles. And again, I don't think this makes Styles look weak because he did have two matches in the same night, and it was against Owens and Zayn. I mean, I probably would have lost the first match, but having those two matches takes a toll on any person, and so it doesn't make Styles look bad, but it also makes Zayn look really good. And so I'm just glad the way they did this. But we end SmackDown with more ups than downs as opposed to last week. In fact, the ups dominate 6-1. That is insane. I don't know that we've had such a decisive victory like that in quite a while. We've had close, but anyway. So this was a really good SmackDown. I'm extremely glad that this was a good SmackDown because it is the last show before the Royal Rumble. This needed to be good. This followed the crap fest that was Raw 25. I won't call it a crap fest. It was disappointing, but I'll let Parker deal with that on the Raw Rundown. Again, go check that out. I know I said at the beginning of the video, just go check it out. Just take my word for it. But anyway, so we do have the Royal Rumble coming up. Keep an eye out for our predictions, reactions, and aftermath of the Royal Rumble. We're excited to have those out. And then we will also be back next week for the Raw Rundown and the Smackdown Survey that follows the Royal Rumble. And by next week, we'll know who the Royal Rumble winners are and who takes home the SmackDown Tag Team Championships and Who walks away with the WWE Championship? Do we have co-champions? Guess we'll see next week on the SmackDown Survey. Parker will be back next week, as always, with the Raw Rundown. See who the Universal Champion is, Braun, Kane, or Brock Lesnar. Or see who the Raw Tag Team Champions are. Is it going to be Rollins and Jordan, or is it going to be The Bar? We'll see at the Royal Rumble. And so just tune in. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button, getting alerts for when we upload and for our new content. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Comment anything that I may have missed. Comment whether you agree or disagree or whatever. Just have a conversation with us. We like to hear from you. And we thank you for watching. But I'm gonna get out of here, and we will see you post Royal Rumble, I guess. Um, so this has been Zach from Wawa Echo. See you soon. Peace.